It's a hockey where you stick together. It's a hockey chat where you kind of sit around on Facebook and trade quicks with Jackie Lombard and Ava Simos all day. That's the kind of going hockey I love. And Cutter TML, Jeff from Toronto. We love him. He's started up Leaf Crisis. He's having a little problem with viewership, people. So, hey, listen, I started from meager beginnings, and look, I built myself an empire of nothing. Dave from Blue Shirt Blogs, always love his opinion. Dave is always on the cusp of Ranger news. Check out his website. It's fantabulous. Dave also knows everything about waiver wires and free agents and all that stuff, all the stuff I don't know. Wow. I love
He's been here since the beginning. Yes.
Yes, so...
and that concludes...
Don't take offense. I was just talking out my ass. I can't believe it. I'm so discombobulated right now that this day tired.
All right, we got 20 minutes to go. We're going to take another phone call. This might be our last phone call of the night. We don't know yet. We'll see what's going on. 519. You're on Blue Shirt Banner Radio. Who's this?
It's Cutter.
Cutter. Jeff, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
Welcome to the program.
Good. Huh? What were you saying?
Welcome to the program.
Nice to be on the program. How are you guys?
We're doing good. How about yourself?
That's good. Good to hear.
I want to thank you for being kind of our guy who's keeping us up with the information as we speak about it. I think that's great.
Well, thank you guys very much for providing me this blog for me to post my views and all that, and everyone listening to them. That's good.
I mean, yeah. Now I wanted to ask you. Now, you're a Leaf fan. But you're a hockey fan, and you're a very knowledgeable hockey fan. And I think the Rangers and the Leafs kind of have something in common that we really haven't seen a lot of winning in the history. So, of the original 6 franchises, could you tell me what you see on the horizon for Toronto and the Maple Leafs?
Well, on the horizon, I think the Leafs have to keep their young prospects because, Brian Burke is pretty much our best GM since Cliff Fletcher back in the 90s. And, well, even though we lost the number 2 draft pick to Boston, thanks to us getting Kessel, although Kessel was a good player last year, basically what we have to do is keep focused on our young people, like our young players and all that. And I think we should re-sign Gustafson because he's a very valuable guy.
Yeah, he seems to be the... I saw him live. I saw the Rangers actually play the Leafs at the Garden, and I got to tell you, he impressed me. I actually was there when Dion Phaneuf got his first goal as a Leaf, and I think they kind of expected a little bit more out of Dion than they got.
Mhm.
And I know you're a big Patrick Waugh fan as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what do you think about this broadcast that we do? You're a Canadian. You are an avid hockey fan. You live in the country where hockey is number one. What do you think about this little broadcast we call Blue Shirt Banner Radio?
Well, to be honest, I didn't know what to expect, but when I kept looking at your YouTube videos, Eddie, am I right, Eddie?
Yeah.
Or the Mouse, I should call you.
Yeah. Call me Eddie. My friends call me Eddie. My friends call me the Mouse. As long as, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Sure. Anyway, Eddie, so I was watching your videos and all that on YouTube. I subscribed to you. I was pretty impressed with what you did for Ranger Crisis and all that and getting all that old-time footage and such. So that kind of inspired me to do, Leafs Crisis and all that because now with Chicago, if they win either today or Friday, the Leafs will now have the longest cupless drought and the longest finalist drought. You got to remember that, too.
That's true.
That's right. Leafs haven't been to the finals since '67 as well. You got to keep that in mind.
Right. And you know the story of Bill Barilko, right?
Oh yeah, I was reading up on it a long time ago.
Do you know the story, and would you like to tell the people out there, maybe in Rangerland, that are not famous about
Yeah,
Bill?
I will tell you guys about Bill Baricco. Basically, Bill Baricco was one of the star defensemen, like playing up in Northern Ontario. And when sponsorship was still around in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, got to remind you guys about sponsorship later on in the show. But basically, Baricco was pretty much a rare find in Northern Ontario. And basically, what the Leafs did is they focused on him. He went to this team called the Hollywood Wolves back in Los Angeles. They were a Pacific Coast team, and basically the Leafs called them up. I think it was 48, 49, I can't remember. But anyway, in 1951, in one of the greatest cup finals of all time, the Leafs and Habs went to 5 games, and basically every game went to overtime. Trust me.
Right.
So oh, you guys are still listening? Good.
Yeah, we're still listening, of course.
Oh, sorry. I usually don't talk this long at one time, like consecutively. Anyway, back to 1951. Game 5, Barocco comes charging in, and he shoots a rocket that went over Jerry McNeil's head. There's a famous picture of it in many hockey books and all that, of Barocco like falling down on his, close to the ice on his stomach and all that. And of course, that goal went over. You could barely see the puck over McNeil's shoulder for the Canadians, and of course, he was the starter between Bill Durden and Jacques Blanc, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Okay. And anyway, later that summer, he decided to go on a fishing trip up north, and he took one of his friends, who was a doctor called Dr. I can't remember, Terry Hudson, I think. I can't remember his first name, but I know it's Hudson. Basically, they went up north somewhere, and for a fishing trip, and then all of a sudden he was missing and all that. They couldn't find him. They tried everything, and ironically, 11 years later in '62, I think it was just after the Leafs beat the Blackhawks for the Cup, someone from the team, like the front office, told the Leafs team that they actually found remains of a plane with 2 bodies in them, and they identified one of them, not the pilot, but one of them as Bill Baricco. So that was kind of a curse that the Leafs were involved in.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, so yeah, they have. That's like there's actually a song about it too.
Yeah, I have that on my computer. It's called 50 Mission Cap by Tragically Hip. They released it in '92, I believe.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yes, it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, Eddie.
No, you go ahead.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say,
you go ahead?
Well, I thank you for calling in, and I'm glad you're part of the program, and I'm glad you love Ranger Crisis. As a matter of fact, because I'm going to put a classic Ranger Leaf game up on my next video because of you. And if you guys can check out Leaf.
Anyway, there was another reason why I wanted to call Eddie. Because, like I said, something about sponsorship, correct?
Right.
And I was trying to get you to mention that back in the '60s, the Kitchener Rangers, which is our major team, like in the OHL and all that, they were sponsoring like the New York Rangers and all that, and they put one of their best players, Walkachuk, to New York.
Walkachuk.
Yes, that's right, Walkachuk and all that. And then they stopped the super sponsorship in '69. I can't remember why, but anyway, I guess it was kind of an easier draft for all the teams to do, and I suppose. Right.
Yeah. Every team had affiliations, and you know this at the they had the number. They always got the best players, because everybody wanted to play for the Canadians, and I guess they had all these affiliations all over Quebec. Nobody was going anywhere. So yeah, that's a great point. I had forgotten that Walt was a Kitchener Ranger. I'm going to try to get Walt on the show. And so we appreciate it, Jeff. We appreciate the phone call. We got to move on. We only got 15 minutes left, but 15
minutes left. I can see that.
Yeah.
So just look at my YouTube stuff, Cutter TML. It's the same it's the same name as in the blog. Leafs Crisis. I've got other stuff too, like baseball, basketball, college sports, and all that. But just see it and just see what you like and comment. I don't care if they're good or bad comments. Just comment on my videos. I'll get back to you, and maybe you'll be my friends. And I'll still be on Blueshirt Banter. Okay?
Well, that was me 6 years ago, making sure Blueshirt Underground knew who I was, or Blueshirt Banter at that time. So yeah, I was actually kind of angry that, Jim wouldn't do a Blueshirt Underground show tonight, because there was a reason behind it, because it was 6 years ago tonight, Wednesday, June 9th, 2010, that I called in for the first time. And I finally managed to get the Block Talk radio program and pinpoint where I was. Where my call was. So anyway, of course, the postscript was that Chicago won the game in overtime. Patrick Kane scored that phantom goal. Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup, and the Leafs have the longest Cup list drought and finals list drought still to this day, 6 years ago. I know Eddie stopped doing Rangers Crisis like 3-4 years ago. I guess he had other interests, some kind of video issues, but that's fair enough. I stopped doing Leafs Crisis because, Eddie's Ranger Crisis is what made me keep doing my Leafs Crisis. And I thought, nah, Leafs are in too much of a crisis. All that. So just tell me if you want me to commit to revamping Leafs Crisis or doing something like that. Because I would love to keep doing Leafs Crisis and maybe do a postscript from 2011 to 2016 where I left off. So yeah, thank you for listening to this call. I know that some people say, oh, it's self-satisfying. I'm like, but things have changed. Some things have changed for 6 years, some haven't. Including my fucking voice. Really hasn't changed much in 6 years. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's okay. Yeah, I think it was like my second call that people started calling me a girl and all that. So anyway, yeah, I've had a lot of legendary calls, good and bad. Especially bad with Jim. So anyway, thanks for listening to this thing. And I promise that the next time I call, I'll keep it clean. Somehow. Okay, bye.